Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a best of 7 from DreamHack Summer that wrapped up just about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. It's going to be the winners finals, but it's not the grand finals because DreamHack has a losers bracket. Top left-hand corner here is the red Terran player. It is Clem. And in the bottom side, it is the blue Zerg player, Reynor. Both these players are 18 years old. Both of them are incredibly, stupidly good at StarCraft for how young they are. They're just some of the best young talent in the entire game right now. I expect to see incredible things from them in the future. Reynor already has a runner-up. He already took second place in the whole world at BlizzCon last year. So for me to be like, I expect more from Reynor, is I expect him to win one. I just do. I know those are heavy expectations. I understand it, and it's probably not good for Reynor's psyche, but you know what? The kid seems tough. I think he can handle it. And then Clem on the other side, not to the heights of Reynor. And here's the sad thing about Clem. It's a minor tragedy, right? If Reynor didn't exist, Clem would be hugely important to the StarCraft scene. More people would know who he is. More people would be impressed by his play. But as it stands, there's another 18-year-old there who's doing better. And it's hard to compete with that, you know? Anyway, I fully expect Clem to give Reynor every single thing he can handle in this series, this best of 7 for your Sunday series. Man, hit that like button if you're excited for this because I am stoked. I did catch a little bit of DreamHack Live, but not all of it. So I'm excited to see what we get here on Submarine for game number 1. It's a very short rush distance map, so a 2 or 3 base rush. Well, to call it a 3 base rush is kind of weird, but a Roach Ravager attack can be really good on this map. SCV from Clem coming in to see, was it a pool first? The answer is no. That hatch is almost done. And we've got a Reaper name ready to go here. This Reaper's name is Salt and Pepper. Instead of guns, this guy throws salt and pepper at his foes. Really doesn't do much damage, but enemies love when he visits during meal times. That's fantastic. That's really good stuff. Alright, so we're going to do the Reaper dance. Everybody do the dance, do the Reaper dance. Everybody do the dance, do the Reaper dance. That SCV kind of blocked off the third base for a little bit and then went home. I mean, like, okay, I guess. Look at this drone hiding. Dude, you could have blocked. I don't understand it. I guess it was hiding, and I guess Clem assumed that there were no drones out here because he's blocking them in. Like, this Reaper's making sure that drones cannot get out of here very easily. So he's like, maybe he expanded to the north. No. Did he expand to the south? Did he sneak a drone down here? He did. Nah, terrible news for me. I tried so hard to block that with my SCV and I gave up too soon. Pickles. I find myself in a pickle. Meanwhile, one Rooney here with the expansion in the mix for Clem. Creep spreading out. And Reaper alive. Reaper Salt and Pepper with 2 kills. Wow, killed 2 Zerglings. So the dance went pretty well for the Reaper there. That is not easy to pull off, man. Hard to do to get 2 kills against Reynor. I think most professional Terrans will tell you that. So nice job by Clem. Good start. I mean, it's not nearly enough to win this game, but it is a good start nevertheless. Creep spreading. Queen's ready to just shove off these 2 Hellions and the Reaper that have showed up, and it's very rare for this to really do anything at all. Or honestly, I don't know. I guess if you're lucky you get a creep tumor, right? But this queen positioning from Reynor is just sick. It's so good. This tumor's in trouble. Oh, there was an angle. There was a time for Clem to jump in there and take down this tumor. He just completely chose not to. Instead, getting some shots off on this hatchery, which means nothing in the long run. Killing this tumor would have been much better for him. More Hellions coming out. What's the follow-up? Well, the Overlord scattered it. It's Cloak Banshee. So Cloak Banshee on the way here from Clem. Baneling Nest on the way from Reynor. Fairly normal stuff. I mean, I guess it could have been a Roach Warren, but having Banelings here is going to be pretty good too. Did he see an armory chance? Nope, no armory, but your third base is coming up at 4.5 minutes. It's not the greediest one of all time. That Queen's going to die. Wow. Nice snipe. That is hard to do. It is hard to snipe a Queen with Hellions and a Reaper, man. Dude, this Reaper's got 4 kills. Salt and Pepper the Reaper, hero of the Terrans today. I was going to say Dominion, but I don't know. It could be Reynor's Raiders. It could be the Mobius Foundation. It could be any number of Terrans. There's a lot of those in the StarCraft lore. Yeah, I mean, this tumor placement, it's just everywhere, man. This Banshee has no kills. It does have Cloak. It's going to wander in here and just try to set up an area where a Spore doesn't exist. And kind of support what's going on here. That's a lot of Lings. Banshee can't support that much. This is going, I don't know, that's a lot of dead Lings, and the Hellions are still here, and the Queens can't chase the Hellions that far. Oh, they got 2 of them, though, and that is it. Oh, line them up. Ah! The barbecue. Now he splits, but not before he sent them all through this little narrow choke in the mineral line. Okay, so 4 drones down. Maybe not entirely worth it, but still any damage is good damage at this stage of the game. The Banshees honestly might be able to just get some damage done on this hatch. Oh, they got the early shots off on the Queen. And now the Queen's dead. Oh, the transfuse, though. Gosh, Reynor, you're so good at this game. The transfuse at the very gosh darn last second manages to make it happen. Reynor taking a 4th base up along the right side. 3rd base coming in here from Clem. Landing at about 6 minutes, which is not super duper early. It's not Maru early, right? Maru has been known to just take a 3rd at like 4 minutes because he's a crazy person. But Clem a little bit more aggressive. Did put some resources into this Cloak Banshee stuff, and I don't believe they have paid for themselves here all that much in game 1. Again, even if they can't destroy this 4th hatch, well, they're going to make it easier to kill when an attack comes in later. Alright, so what's Reynor up to? Spire, perhaps? Again, Zerg players do love their Mutalisks. But no, I don't... 28 Lings? Is he going for some crazy Ling Bane all-in? That's a lot of Lings and Banelings that he's rolling with here. Centrifugal Hooks is on the way. 1-1's coming in. This is almost like a I don't want to decide on tech yet situation. I'm just going to have Lings and Banelings. I'm going to expand again. And then maybe I'll decide what I want to be when I grow up. Maybe he just... I mean, it just seems like overkill. The number of Lings and Banes he has out on the map here. See these guys? He's waiting for the hooks to finish. He's got about 1 second. So he comes from the backside, snipes off the tank, and then the rest of this group is forced to pick up and get out of there. If the Banshee's supporting, that would have been a little bit better, but they were away from the area for just a second there. Transfuse. There it is. Transfuse. Creep spreading. Base taken. Yeah, this is Reynor being like, I don't want to decide what I'm making yet. I want to get 1 million bases on Submarine. Which, okay, it's fine, it's fair. Just saying, like other Zerg players would have a Spire or a Roachhorn or something by now. Ling Bane is a totally viable strategy to defend, but if you're trying to kill your opponent, Ling Bane needs something that can shoot up in some way, whether it's Ravagers or Hydralisks or Mutalisks. Alright. Ah, Banshee for a Queen. I'm not sure that's a great trade for Clem. Creep spread still looking pretty fantastic. Reynor is one of the better creep spreaders. Big Marine tank action coming here from Clem. Really sticking on this barracks production. And this is where Ultralisks can be very good. If your Terran opponent is stuck on Marines, this many Marines, and you just have Ultras, you will chomp and chew and devour your way through that whole group pretty easily. That said, he's kind of far away from that. I don't think he even has an infestation pit. He's going Ling Bane with this stuff. 1-1 Lings and Banes. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Clem is up to, honestly. He's just trying to go Ling Bane against this. He's going to lose a hatch as a result. There's just nothing to buffer here. These things going for the run-by, and it's okay, but not great. I mean, that tank dies, which is nice. The Zerglings don't have 2-2, or they'd be doing better here. No adrenal glands because we don't even have an infestation pit yet. Look at this. Look at these splits. Dude, Clem is pre-splitting like a boss, like he's capable of. Oh, the Lings are actually still getting more done in here somehow. Some way. I guess the power of that medevac and the siege tank. Okay, so they're all cleaned up. He's still winning on this other side, man. Oh, the splits, the siege tank fire on those Banelings. Is this your GG? It's 143 to 116 supply. Well, the good news for Reynor is he just has enough resources to build a bajillion Lings and Banelings. So that'll shove the Terran away eventually, but not before the damage is done. Hatchery down. 8,000 resources, 9,000 resources lost for Reynor. Kind of shocked Clem's not making any Widow Mines with this comp. It just adds a lot if your opponent's just going Lean Bane. Oh, look, a Widow Mine. Never mind. Never you mind. How many Widow Mines are there? Just the one. Yeah, he just made the one. What if he accidentally made that Widow Mine? He's like, I wasn't planning on making Widow Mines, but sure, one Widow Mine's great. Yeah, it's just Ling Bane, man. 22 Lings in production. Siege Tank lives. It's nice. Siege Tank is 14 kills. Coming down this left side. Is there a Liberator? I'm assuming there was a Liberator, but not too much damage done. But yeah, Reynor's attempt to expand here. This is a very, 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 very strange game from Reynor. It reminds me of the game from Cyril last week where he just didn't get Adrenal Glands for 25 minutes. And he was making like 800 Zerglings. This is like Reynor just... He's playing like me. It's like, you know, all you need is Zerg is Lings and Banelings, right? And that is not true. But sometimes I like to play that way, and it doesn't go well. Yeah, I mean, the trades here... The hatchery's killed. It's, looking bad. Income here. Technically favoring Reynor, but if it's even, that's actually a win for Clem. If you have even income for your Zerg opponent as Terran, you will take that every day. So he's looking great on that one. The Marine shooting animation is so good. Baneling's just trying to make good trades, but you know how cheap Marines are? Extremely cheap. Who's got Lings inside Clem's base? Yeah, that's right. Reynor does. Okay, all right. Can he handle this? No! Another hatch goes down, and that's it. Reynor taps out. Clem wins game numero uno and looks really, really good doing it. Had he even cleaned this up? Effectively, no, kind of. Yeah, he had. Okay, so he cleaned up that Ling attack. This base was barely running, but this died, this died, this died. A total of 29 drones died. 18,000 resources lost to 10,000 resources for Clem. I don't know that I have seen this from Reynor before. For Reynor to be like, all I need is Lings and Banes at the end in a 12-minute game makes no sense to me at all. The fact that he didn't try to get Mutas, he didn't go for Ultras. Even Roaches and Ravagers would have done pretty well there. Ravagers especially would have helped. Crazy, crazy game one there. So Clem jumps out to the early 1-2-0 lead. Looking good. Reynor doing some crazy stuff. In all fairness. But, you know, a win's a win. No matter how thin. Okay, it wasn't a thin win. That was a crushing end of the game. Reynor had nothing. He had 12 Banelings and 19 Lings. Yeah, 28 army supply. And that one Widow Mine did die. Fairly well, one Widow Mine. Okay, well, let's move into game number 2 then. See what Reynor has for Clem, because I imagine there are some things that he'll change about how he's playing here. We'll be right back. Game 2 is here on Everdream. Bottom left, Reynor. Top right, Clem. All right, thanks to everybody for subscribing to the new channel. I was able to monetize it a few days ago. I appreciate that. And if you have ad blocker and you feel like supporting me monetarily by not watching ads, there's always Patreon. Patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. You get one extra StarCraft 2 cast a month. And I try to make them extra special for you guys. As that reward is at the $1 a month tier. So that's the lowest it will go. And there's a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and it just goes up from there. So again, patreon.com/Falcon Paladin if you're interested. All right, so here we are on Everdream, a short rush distance map again. It's kind of weird that the first two maps are short rush distances. Short rush distances maps. Short rush distance maps. There we go. I got my plurals in order there. And not sending out an SCV. Here is Clem. Maybe he's... it's a short rush distance map. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it really is. I know it doesn't look like it, but let's see here. How many screens does it take to get to your opponent from here? 1, 2, basically 3. Like 3 gets you to their front door. That is zippity zappity. And there's your SCV. Okay, so Reaper on the way. SCV cruising on down. Expansion happening here from Clem. It all lines up so very, very nicely. Let's see how Reynor gets his third base. Is he going to send a drone up now to try to hide it? Or is he just assuming there's not going to be an attempted block? Because honestly, again, I don't know why Terran players don't do this every single time. Did I say DreamHack Summer in Game 1? I think I did. It's DreamHack Fall, obviously, because duh, it happened in September, which is a fall month. I don't know where my brain was with that, but this Reaper is named Angel Dust. More Reapers are dying faster than even the Dominion's hilariously corrupt court system could replace them. To fix this issue, Emperor Mengs decided to implement a recycling program by mining into hell and forcing the dead to die again. They found a gay spider complaining about his boss and convinced him to join with the promise of endless drugs. A reference to Has Been Hotel, which I think is an anime, if I understand correctly. Third base gets up nicely for Reynor there, no big deal. I don't think the SCV even really tried to block it this time. Already home at 230, which is so weird. Like, it just... Like, try to block it? Is that 2? Man, that's 2 more Lings down. Clem's Reaper control is sick today. That's so many kills on the Reapers. The first Reaper, right? Salt Pepper, the Reaper in Game 1 ended up getting 2 kills. Or maybe 4. No, 4 kills total. This guy's got 2. Oh, and a tumor! Sniping that tumor is massive. Slowing down the creep spread. Starting from creep tumor 1 is so big. There's a reason that Cyril and Reynor and other Zergs, when their first queen pops out of their natural, they go for a creep tumor instead of an inject, because that's how darn important it is. And it slows it down. It's an incremental, it's a snowball effect. That first one doesn't happen, and then everything is slower after that. The good news for Reynor is, it's a small map, so there's less area, there's less surface area to cover with the creep, especially connecting up to your third base. It's not that big of a deal. Getting down to this base, not that big of a deal either. And even, again, spreading across the map here to try to kill your opponent, not a big deal. Now, we've got ourselves a couple Hellions, but this time we've got a Liberator coming out fast. And Stim coming on the way here, too. So the indication is we're going that bio again. Again, super weird game there for Reynor to not do anything but Lings and Banes for 12 minutes. Yeah, it's hard to kill buildings if you're a Reaper or if you're a Hellion. Even if you're 2 Hellions and a Reaper. Hard to do. So at some point we want a Spore. And the Spore timing against Terran is about 5:30. That's when Cloaked Banshees will show up. But definitely Liberators can show up more quickly than that. It's just you can handle those with Queens a lot easier than you can a Cloaked Banshee. Where, you know, you need the detection at that point. So I'm trying to see where it is. There you go. Liberator coming around to this third base and just sporing up at 4:30. All right, so Reynor's feeling like he wants to be ready for that. Did he scout this? He did scout the starport, so he's just like, you know what? Let's just get a Spore up. Doesn't hurt anything, honestly. Man, look at this timing, too. The Liberator's like, I was going to set up here, but there's a Spore in the way. And then casually, that's outside the circle. I was going to say casually mining from this mineral patch. See, this is why Spore Crawlers need the fast burrow time, is because of this. Hellions coming in to harass, Liberator setting up a different, drones, get out of there, drones, and they do. And the Spore's playing the game of get back around and try to hit where that Liberator pilot is. Queen Stabino gets the free shots, nice. Some free shots are nice, and Reynor's doing a great job here, right? He's getting harassed pretty heavily. He hasn't lost too much mining time. He's rebuffing the Liberator. I think it has 1 kill. Yes, she does. And get out of there, Reynor. No! Oh, it's a dead queen. She can't get out. Yep, did not move in time. Okay, so that hurts. Now you have to rely on your Spores entirely, which, again, they burrow fast, but not fast enough to really keep up with the Liberator, who's constantly setting up in defender mode and getting out of it. Ooh, some good shots there, though. That's some nice stuff. And then the Hellions are just like, oh, no! Maybe don't run into a bunch of Speedlings like that. Okay, so the Liberator dies. How many drones died? 2? Doesn't seem worth, I don't think. And, yeah, that's a rebuff, is what that is. Creep spread happening quite nicely back home. It's bio. I think we mentioned that previously. But there's Stim coming in. Like, yes, you're committing here to bio. This is not some weird battlecruiser play. It's not going to be Thors. It's not going to be tanks. Some tanks, perhaps, but not mostly tanks. And now we've got Widowmine production in earnest from Clem here in game number 2. Again, he made the single one in game number 1, which is a little bit weird. But game 2 here, definitely going for the additional Widowmine production. It's going for a bit of a double medevac drop here at 6:30. This can be as fast as 5:30, but or 6 even, except for he made a few more Hellions than normal and made that Liberator. This is still pretty powerful stuff. I mean, the timing isn't perfect, but that's okay. I think Zergs have become accustomed to perfect timing. They stim. Oh, they cannot get the spawning pool. So the Lings jump on it. The Widowmine does fire and kill a bunch of them. The Lings do not have armor upgrades or attack upgrades either. But the threat of the surround plus the Banelings meant the Marines had to get out of there. Overlords do have speed. They can run away from these Marines pretty darn effectively. Creep Tumor's getting destroyed at the front door here. And this hurts even more, honestly. Overlord down. Supply blocking Reynor. This Overlord, filled with Banelings, is going on a mission of its own. But doesn't want to get shot down by these Marines before he can do it. 4th base is done for Reynor top left. He's, despite all of the harassment and losing 2 drones, he is at 66, which I say a bit tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, I mean, these tumors, I guess, actually, they do finish. It's just a matter of scanning or not. Again, the Banelings show up and everybody freaks out. Hellbats marching in. This is a pretty scary push all of a sudden. The Hellbats add another dimension against these Lings. You need more Banelings for it, and we are Baneling up here. 11 Banelings in production. It's a very, very tight hold right now. Banelings, taking out all but one of the Hellbats. That one goes down too, and now the Banelings are free to chase these Marines. They don't have stim, but they are on creep. They don't have stim. They don't have centrifugal hooks. But they are on creep. They get a speed boost from that. The target firing here is disgusting. That Widowmine really wants to fire again on something, and is going to as that cooldown comes down. Excellent, excellent news. Another double medevac attack coming in here from Clem. He knows you can't let the Zerg hang out. If you let them hang out, they will overwhelm you at the 10-minute mark, or perhaps even sooner. If you keep pressure on them, it slows down their economy, and otherwise, they hate it. So, the preemptive SCV split on this Dropper Lord. And I don't know, what do you do if you're a Reynor? I guess he's maybe just going to head home. Maybe just hang out, I guess, in the general vicinity. Oh, the Banelings. Not making good trades there, I gotta say. And this Overlord, the more it takes damage, the less like it's going to be worth anything, honestly. Attack up the other side. Ah, the Banelings are gone. That was terrible. What did they... Hold up. What did they even explode on? That Widowmine hadn't fired yet. Was there another Widowmine? No, it's just the one. I gotta see this. Man, we're just in microing. Oh, there's a second Widowmine. Okay. So this... Okay. That's 9 Banelings that have died, not of their own volition here. The resources lost is telling the tale in the bottom right here, too. Clem is just so cost-efficient right now. This group gets rebuffed. The Widowmine dies there, too. Again, Banelings exploding on Widowmines. Terrans are okay with that. They're not going to complain about that at all. And they do take down the spawning pool. Oh, that's big. He's already making another one in his own mineral line here as Reynor. He's got those lurkers out. He does love that lurker tech. And now he's going for high. He's getting Hydralisk, so at least he has some higher tech here at the 9-minute mark compared to what he was doing in game number 1. The question is it going to be worth getting there or not? I mean, Clem's 4th base is rolling. Has he lost an SCV today? No. Not a single SCV has gone down. Reynor's attempted a 5th base is getting bruised quite severely by these Marines, and Clem just feels like he's in control of this game. Okay, those Banelings dying, or those, yeah, I mean, those Banelings dying, not great for Reynor. Widowmine's dying too, not great for Clem. Decent Widowmine hit on some of those Banelings. Creep Tumor's getting sniped. Overlord taking some shots there too. Man, denying these upgrades would be huge for Reynor. He does take down the 5th hatch, though, and the 4th is in a lot of trouble, too. The Liberators are setting up denial zones, which is exactly what their intended purpose is. Reynor's he keeps trying to poke in here, but he doesn't. Dude, he can't. He lost it. He can't lose this base. Okay, economically, nope. Swinging up into Clem's side of it. This looks like a really fast 2-0 for Clem. What is even happening right now? These drones have nowhere to go. They couldn't go to the safety of home. These lings are trying to kill reinforcements that are streaming across the map here. The drones are fast, which is nice. It can help them stay alive at some point, but oh, the denial. The ground carapace level 2 denial is massive. For the lings, for the hydras that don't exist, for the lurkers that don't exist. Just kidding, we have 3 lurkers. We're defending with 3 lurkers, and melee attack level 2 is going to finish, which is nice. Okay, that's a war crime is what that is. Backing those helpless workers into a corner and executing them in cold blood. Come on, Marines. I would say you're better than this, but you're not. Oh, that base doesn't happen either. Okay. Wow, the Marines are just... Oh, they take a lurker down. They take the spines. 24 drones have gone down. The income is still hugely favoring Clem right now. There's some hydras. There are some lurkers out, but Clem does not want to go home right now. He wants to handle it, and he does. Clem goes up 2-0 here against Reynor in 12 minutes and 7 seconds. Just with non-stop aggression. Hellions into double medevac drop, into double medevac drop, into pushing the 4th base and the 5th base and the 3rd base. And look at this. 16,000 resources lost for Reynor to 7,000 for Clem. That's insane. That is an insane difference. What do we got? 8 queens, 2 hatcheries, 6 hydralisks, 28 banelings, 250 zerglings, 28 drones, a spawning pool, an evolution chamber for, what, 55 marines, a couple marauders, 3 liberators. Like, the numbers here for Clem are beautiful. The 19 widow mines is maybe the biggest investment he made in this game that he lost. But yeah, end of the game, it was 2 lurkers and 8 hydras for Reynor. He knew economically he was toast. He knew that Clem was on 4 bases, working on a 5th base. Oh, it's done. The 5th base is done. And he's got a 2-0 lead here on Reynor. I'm telling you, Clem is a great Terran player. He is scary now. He'll continue to be scary for years to come. So let's move into game number 3 and see what that's all about. Be right back. Well, if you had told me going to game 3 that Clem would be up 2-0, I don't think I would have believed you. But here we are on Eternal Empire. Top right, Reynor. Bottom left, Clem. Man, Clem just knows how to keep pressure on Zerg players. If he can do it again, he'll be up 3-0. Man, Widow Mines are good units, but he won game 1 without any Widow Mines. But again, Reynor just went Baneling for 12 minutes for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but Clem proved that he could beat him if he got Lurkers and Hydras and Banelings, and that is Reynor's preferred style, I think, for ZBT these days. So, man, Clem beating Reynor at his own game, basically. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. FalconPaladin.store for Falcon Paladin merchandise. We're going to have some new merch there. Maybe it's already there with the new logo, which I've gotten some nice feedback on. So thank you, everybody who took the time to let me know they like the new logo. I'm not entirely sure if I remember where I got it from. I just know that one of my subscribers sent it to me a couple of years ago, and I didn't know what to do with it, but then I did. The logo for the new StarCraft 2 channel. Ta-da! Anyway, hit that subscribe if you're here, because if you know me at all, you know that I'm extremely consistent. I've put out more than 3,000 videos in the 5 years I've been casting StarCraft. So, like, consider that real quick. Look, how many days are there in 3 years? Like 1,000. Maybe 2. I'm a crazy person, is what I am. Anyway, Clem going for the 1-Rax Expandaroonie. Reynor going for the 16, 18, 17. There's just nothing. Nobody wants to go for the proxies today. Nothing's doing anything nuts. There's not even any pool first plays from Reynor either. No. So SCV comes in, sees timing, says, great. Reaper can move out. There are no Lings moving in. Gonna block the 3rd. And this time, maybe this time for once, he can block the 3rd. Because this is a... Oh my gosh. Why? Why does he do that? Is all he cares about that Reynor didn't go for a super fast 3rd? Because you can do that. You can go for a 3rd sub 2 minutes if you delay your queens and delay your speed. Wow, the Reaper's here already? Dang it. Reaper's name, Ichigo. After being hit by a truck-kun, he hoped to be isekai to a fantasy world, or he would become an overpowered anime protagonist. However, he found himself in a Reaper suit, and then was told to go kill stuff and tell us what you see before you die. I'm assuming that's an anime thing. Thank you, Lord Omicron, for that name. Lord Omicron, a long time subscriber. He's been here for years. Lord Omicron, good dude. If you want to talk with me or Lord Omicron about things like religion and the meaning of life and politics and relationships and all sorts of interesting stuff, you can find us on the Discord. The Discord server for Falcon Paladin. We have over 1,000 members. We're pretty busy. I like the activity level of the Discord right now. It's busy. It's not boring, but it's not so crazy packed that you can't even get a word in edgewise or read any of the channels. I've seen other Discord servers like that, and I don't like them. I like where mine is. It's in just right zone, the Goldilocks zone, perhaps, for Discord servers. If you just search Falcon Paladin Discord, I have an invite floating around there on the internet that is set to never expire, which I've been told not to do, but hey, whatever. It'll pop up. That's what I'm trying to say. Search Falcon Paladin Discord. There's probably a link to it in the description as well. Just come say hey. I mean, I'm there pretty much all the time. I'm there during work hours, and sometimes I can pay more attention to it than others. But if you ask me a question on the Discord, that's probably your best way to get in touch with me, is through joining said Discord server, and we can chat. Made some good friends there. It's nice. It reminds me of the IRC days, which is probably older than some of you people that are watching this. I mean, that's like a mid to late 90s kind of a thing. IRC chat. I think it persisted into the early 2000s and then became something else took it. I think Twitch is actually built on the bones of IRC, which is crazy times to think about that. Also, while nothing's happening here, we're actually, Laughing Games and I have a new tournament we've set up, a new invitational, where we're going to be streaming on Trovo.live. I'll put a link to it in the description here. But it's going to be at a bit of a different time. Early morning hours in North America. So better time for Europe viewers. And decent times for people in America too. Basically starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday. This is going to be too late. But there will be future events, okay? We got Beyond Zest, Trap, and Dongray Goo for the first one, which is crazy times. That is such a great lineup. I hope I had fun casting it, because I'm sure I did. But, yeah, if you've been wanting to watch the Laughing Games and, well, us cast together on Africa, but it's just too late. I understand that. But maybe this time it would be better for everyone. But, yeah, check out that link. Also, check out the link to the africatv.com Laughing Games channel, where we also do Africa World Invitationals with, again, super great players. Okay, enough of that. Ling's getting into the third base causing problems. Clem up here with his Marines and stuff going after the fourth base. 3 SCVs die, but no huge collateral here. I mean, this is the problem with taking this base, is the high ground could be taken by your enemy Terran or Protoss players, and bad things will happen to these poor SCVs, drones, but you do have Rich Vespine Geyser here. So that's good. Oh, the wraparound. That's a pickup scenario. There you go. Get on out of there, Clem. Live to fight another day or another, like, 10 seconds from now, because I feel like that's what we're doing. It's just, these guys are going to keep diving in. He's going to keep making armies. He's got a great wall of supply depots over here protecting his third here on Eternal Empire. We've seen this a bunch. And Lings have a hard time getting through here, especially if there are Marines and Hellions on the other side. They're waiting for this. Look at that. I know there's Lings. They're going to try to get through here. That is how Zerg players work. They're so tricksy. And he shoves them away rudely and roughly, but I cannot blame him for that. That's just self-defense. That's all that is. Not like the cold-blooded execution of those drones in Game 2. That was war crimes, according to The Hague, which doesn't exist in the StarCraft universe, I don't think. Maybe they have their own war crimes tribunal and rules. But when you're fighting aliens, I imagine they're a little bit different, yeah? Anyway, another Hellbat Marine attack. Oh, gosh, the Baneling connections are humongous. Okay, that was really well played by Reynor. I think, once again, all the Hellbats died. I was watching some GSL, and Tastosis made the comment that, yeah, Hellbats are never going to be as good as Terrans want them to be. There was a slight time when they were incredible. They were tankier and they did more damage, I believe. So that was a good time for Terrans. But other than that one time in the history of the Hellbat, they're just not going to be amazing. The damage output isn't as good as you think. You drop a Hellbat into a probe line, and how many probes will you get? Probably 0. It's just not super efficient. It can be great against a Zerg player who doesn't have either enough Queens and Lings or Banelings or Roaches to handle them. If they've undermade Zerglings and don't have enough Queens, Hellbats will tear through a Zerg player like a hot knife through a butter. But Reynor is just, he's had enough. He's had the right answer for this. He knows what's coming. He's preparing for everything. I don't know that he's necessarily been scouting all that much, because he hasn't been. So he doesn't know what tech exists up here. Last time he scouted, I think the orbital command for the 3rd was like in the main base. So that's cool. Drilling Claws on the way. Widowmine, again, super duper good unit. Like crazy, crazy effective unit. Like, the only times that Widowmines don't pay for themselves is if they fire on nothing because of, like, Stalker Blink or something, right? Or if they fire on a single Ling. Everything else they fire on, they're cost efficient. It's kind of incredible stuff. Liberator up top at Reynor's 5th base. Getting some drones. Drone pull a little bit late. And actually killing X2, which is so good for Liberators. Yeah, I kind of feel like these games are just going to be carbon copies of each other. The first 2 and the 3rd one have all been basically the same thing. It's Clem attacking with Marines, Widowmines, Liberators, maybe some Banshees. Did the Liberator get more drone kills? Holy smokes. The Widowmines just get left behind. And just pick up the efficiency. I don't even know, man. Do Widowmines need to be nerfed? Ah! Look at all those dead Banelings! And then Reynor, that was a chase situation that turned into a runaway situation because of those those Widowmine hits and the Banelings that didn't connect on anything. Incredible. Like, I don't know. I'm not... That target firing was sick, by the way. Like, Clem's playing this extremely well. He is playing Terran to the peak of its ability. Reset, permacloak. Like, there's a reason that Railgun has stopped making Banelings against Terran is for this reason. These guys exist. Oh, no. Is this another dead base? Dude, is Clem going to take a 3-0 lead here? Because I don't know how to feel about that. Kind of feel like that's where we are, though. Great googly moogly. This is my favorite animation in all of StarCraft. Every time I see it, I can't help but zoom in and watch it for a bit. Really can't. But my duties take me elsewhere. What is even this? What? Oh, was that another Widowmine hit? Dude, this is crazy pants. 178 Lings have died. 10 Widowmines have died. Like, it's not all Widowmine kills, obviously, but still. Hydralisks turning into not the Ultralisks, but the Lurkerlisks. They should be called Lurkerlisks for consistency, although that's a little hard to say, I guess. So Reynor does hold on to his... No, that died. Never mind. That base is toast. He's trying to double expand, kind of. This medevac's hanging out with nothing in it, so it's not much of a threat, as it turns out. But yeah, adrenal glands coming in. Lurker upgrades on the way here, too. Because if you're going heavy into Lurkers, having range upgrades and burrow speed is insanely good. Are we seriously going to fight in 2 places at once here? I need the GSL 2 places at once picture-in-picture action. Which actually sometimes isn't super great. Like, sometimes Tasteless especially complains about it. Like, where's our picture-in-picture? We need it! And then it's too late, and he's, like, grumpy. Understandable. It is. Observing is hard. You guys do realize I'm obsing and solo casting, right? Not many people do that. For the reason being, it's difficult. I don't know about coming up this ramp, Clem. There's Lurkers up here, man. And Banelings, which did get target fired pretty effectively. Okay, Clem has really scary numbers here, but the response from Reynor is proportionate. Parasitic Bomb getting tossed down in a couple of these medevacs. Is there enough left here? That's always the question. After the Banelings have exploded, oh, huge connection. That was a massive connection. If that one hadn't, like, if that Baneling group had not hit those Marines, that would be it. I think the push up into this mineral line would have happened. These Hydras couldn't do much. 3-3s coming in here for Clem right now. I mean, Adaptive Talons on the way from Reynor. This is a bloodbath of epic proportions thus far. Reynor taking the top left. Their expansions are so aggressive, and I love it. Ooh, purple. Purple, shiny. Purple, shiny stuff. Clem's expanding here, too. What is this? His 6th base? That's a 6th base at 13 minutes, everybody. I mean, he is keeping pace with the Zerg. Because this is a 7th that Reynor's trying to get up, but it's not done yet. Reynor just marching on to creep lackadaisically. Okay, so maybe this is where things get dicey. I know I've told this story before, but back in Heart of the Swarm, I got a lot of complaints from Zerg players saying that Terran was unstoppable in ZVT. Because I never cast any games where Zerg won against Terran. And I was like, you know what? That's true. So I went back and looked at it. And it turned out the reason I wasn't seeing and casting Zerg wins against Terran was because, well, against Bjorn in particular, was because the longer the game went on, the better Bjorn was in TVZ. He was nigh unstoppable if the game was longer than, say, 15 minutes. But there were a lot of games where Zerg players were able to kill him in the first 15 minutes and get wins that way. So it was just a matter of the longer the game went on, the better Bjorn was and the better Terran players were in general. But Zerg players had a bit of an advantage in the early game, so it was fairly balanced. And so I'm wondering if that's what we're looking at here. Does Reynor just gain in power the longer the game goes on? Shorter games are better if you're trying to beat him? I think that makes a lot of sense. Late game Zerg can be abjectly terrifying and abjectly chaotic. But we're in late game, man. We got ghosts. We got ourselves building armor coming in. It's 200 to 200 supply. The income is way too close for comfort for Reynor here. The fact that it's in the red is not good for him. He's got a good bank. I don't think he needs to worry about too much. I don't even... What's killing drones? I don't know what's killing drones, everyone. I'm sorry. I don't see any red anywhere in the blue. I see some blue in your red, though, and the Baneling Lurker Bomb does take down this planetary. Well done. That was really important. I think that's the first base that he's killed today of Clem's. What's good, though, steady targeting against everything here. One shots Hydras. 2 shots Lurkers, I believe. Where are my Lurkers at? Are they all dead? No. No, they're not. Yeah, so they 2-shot Lurkers. They 1-shot Hydras. Pretty good against Overseers, too. You don't really want to use them on Lings or Banelings, though. That's dumb. Ah, Clem's going to lose another base. Fare thee well, another base attempt. That's not happening. Adrenaling Lings. Man, Reynor's engaging off creep. That is how... Ah, that ghost is alive? Dude, that ghost... He's on the hit TV show I Should Be Dead. These Lurkers just on a little solo... Oh my gosh. These SCVs, though. Get out of there, guys. This is happening at the same time. How do these guys do this? I don't know. I have no answers for you. They practice a lot is the answer, I guess. Yeah, but those ghosts on the hit TV show I Shouldn't Be Alive, because they were surrounded by Adrenalings with +3 attack and didn't die somehow. Thanks to the power of Medivacs, I would guess. Oh, 1 Widowmine hit. See, that's the trick here. If you don't come in with an Overseer first on every one of your attacks, a Widowmine's going to get a shot off at some point. Yeah, this game is bonkers. What a series this has been. Lings Clem marching up the right side, steady targeting an Overlord. Sure, because why not? Use it on something. No, that's not happening. Goodbye, all of you friends. You're toast. This is largely Ghost, man. This is like Ghost and 2 Marines and 4 Marauders. The Ghosts are hanging back. They're ready to steady target stuff as necessary. I think that hatch is just dead. Although, I think this Orbital Command is probably just dead here, too. Yeah, I mean, shoot. This game alone is getting an epic tag. Hatch down. That's big. I mean, sure, the Vespi Geyser is expired, but it still hurts Reynor, man. Although this army still pushing through is not good for Clem. Yeah, it might. I mean, this Orbital might survive. This one's, well, I was going to say it was going to die. Except for the fact that it lifted off there. Very nicely done. The Vipers, the Spellcasters are here. We've been seeing Parasitic Bomb all day today. Beautiful split off, by the way, on those medevacs. They will harm each other to the point that they both die, but hey, at least they didn't kill their friends. Greater love hath no medevac pilot than to die. You wonder if medevac pilots can eject from situations that are bad, right? You've been Parasitic Bomb. You have some time to think about it. You think they can get out of there? That'd be kind of interesting. Like, what if... I have ideas. Those Widow Mines, though. 31 kill Widow Mine, friends. 31 kills. Reynor, continuing to attack down here. I mean, these guys are all dead and they know it. But, like, what if, for some weird balance purpose, medevacs, if you saw they were going to die, you could select it and press an eject button. And the pilot, he's steady targeting drones. Okay, never mind. Steady targeting is great for everything, it turns out. Oh, these drones getting massacred. 22 drones down. Okay, this base is going to die again. Yeah, this has been a bloodbath. Like, both players have been absolutely taking huge chunks out of each other all game. Here in game number 3, this has been a great ZVT. This might get an epic tag just for this game alone. I can't even... 169 supply for Reynor. It's 19 minutes. Yep, the Lings maybe by themselves could pull this off. The Banelings will speed it up a bit. 8 SCVs go down. Another hatch. And more drones are dying here. It's a little Marauder heavy in this composition, but those drones would die faster. Also, I guess, in fairness, they do have +3 armor, so they're a little tanky. I think they could have got the hatch if they didn't chase those drones. Maybe a bit of a mistake there from Clem. Parasitic Bomb on the medevac. That one's basically a full medevac. Oh, it got out. Never mind. Well done. Bit of luck there, perhaps. But yeah, okay. So you eject the pilot from a medevac, right? And then if you need to keep her safe, if she can make it all the way back to a starport, then the next medevac you make is 50% off. How's that sound? It's like she can't do anything until you get her back there, because obviously she's just a pilot without a ship. Do this medevac. So, the boost keeps it alive. I'm almost at a loss here at how insanely good this game is. Another hatch goes down. That's the 5th hatch killed here today. If you kill 5 hatches of a Zerg player, you have an excellent chance of winning the game. I'm not going to guarantee it, because that's not how this works. Oh, Lurker Bomb this base, though. You know what? All the damage that Reynor has taken, he's consistently denied this base, and this base is going to go down too, and suddenly Clem's kind of on 2 mining bases, and this is not looking super healthy with 39 SCVs mining on it right now. If Reynor kills this, that's probably your GG. It's an economic GG. Maybe not over yet, but yeah, Liberators getting abducted, tanks getting focused, Lurkers at the bottom of the ramp. Oh, really doing work here, but the Marauders themselves do excellent damage, and there's a liftoff. And the Hydras, are there enough of them with their +2 attack to take it down before it escapes? No. But it is on fire, and it is 193 to 170 supply. It's a slight advantage here for Reynor. Yo! Was that an intentional explosion or a Widow Mine? It felt like a Widow Mine. That many Banelings go off simultaneously. And there's like, oh, yep, it was. 27 kill Widow Mine. Dude, Widow Mines are immortals, basically. Crikey, it's a good unit. What Zerg players ever get what Zerg units ever get 30 kills? Like, Ultralisks, maybe. I guess if you ever make them, which we're not going to see those today, that's for sure. Yeah, man. This is an insanely good match. I don't know. I know I keep saying that, but it's 112 to 113 army supply right now. The army worker count is basically the same. Sensor tower coming up here for Clem. These two players, I just need to cast all Clem versus Reynor because they are so fun to watch. These young kids, man. They're doing good stuff. The future of StarCraft 2 is in good hands. I know Blizzard Activision just announced they're putting StarCraft 2 in maintenance mode. Which just basically means they're not doing quarterly patches anymore. They're doing balance patches as necessary, which is good, I think. Look, Brood War got its last balance patch in like 2001, which is maybe 3 years after the game launched. So, StarCraft 2, you have it good, even to get this much balance, this much attention paid to it. But, I mean, no more voice packs, right? Yeah, no more co-op commanders, which kind of sucks. There are just so many Widow Mines everywhere. Okay, so these Widow Mines are dying, avenging the deaths of their brethren are these Zerglings. And look at this. Clem took the top left, and he's muling it hard. They're everywhere. They're both everywhere right now. Nobody has an advantage in this game. I mean, if you're maxed out with the same army supply as a Zerg player, you're probably fine. You're probably ahead. Man, the splits. Ooh, abducting ghosts in here. Wow. The mass ghost abduct is brutal. That was incredible stuff. Ghosts are not cheap, man. They're expensive spellcasters. They're really good and they're expensive. That's the trade-off. Clem may be bleeding a bit here. I mean, numbers-wise, he looks okay, but this base is extremely vulnerable all of a sudden because there are like 10 lurkers setting up here. Oh, get out. No! Oh, and this base is toast too. Okay. That went from this is a super tight game to all of a sudden 2 of Clem's bases died and he is on the back foot big time. He has a nice army. He really does. And he's going to try to take down this base over here of Reynor's. That is oversaturated, which just shows you what situation this game is in right now. But it's too many bases. The numbers-wise, it's just too many mining bases here for Reynor. It's 3. It's not a huge number, but it's more than Clem has at the moment. Although this one is technically mining, and this... Oh, that's not happening. Yeah, the denial here of these 2 bases is massively important. He has just taken the 6 o'clock, and this is back too, but... For how long? Nobody knows. And the answer is actually we do know right now. It's not a thing anymore. These lurkers, though. Steady targeting, coming in, abducting the ghosts into the mix. Ghost count is 1. Having 1 ghost against this composition is not good. Trying to handle this with just Marine Marauder Widowmine is not going to be as effective as a Baneling Hydra strategy, which... This is kind of is, but the lurkers are a massive, important part of the composition. I can't even believe this game. Burrow, I think, could be pretty good for Reynor. Do you think he has Burrow? He does have Burrow. All right. Well, those lings did their job. Uh-oh. Lurkers. Wow, that's a lot of dead lurkers, but there are still a few more left. And that means this base has to pick up and get the heck on out of here. He's never really had enough Hydras to kill these bases as they lift, but it doesn't matter. Reynor! Wow. Reynor takes game 3 in 26 minutes and 50 seconds. In one of the more insane nonstop action ZVTs I have ever cast. That was awesome. That was incredible stuff. Reynor did lose 63,000 resources, but it's 58 here for Clem. It's not a 2-to-1 ratio, as it has been in the last couple of games, which again is just... It's insane that the numbers got there. But yeah, if you lose 5 hatcheries, you can survive it as the Zerg if you kill 3 planetaries and 3 orbitals. And a regular command center. That's how you do it. 79 drones died, 104 SCVs died. Reynor lost 79 drones that had 61 workers at the end of the game. He created 140 drones in this game is a lot. 28 lurkers died. There were still 15 at the end of the game. Army supply, not healthy. It's 70 for Clem to 137 for Reynor. I'm really torn on what to do in these situations where there's an epic game as part of a best of series, and does that mean the whole series is epic? And I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where this takes us, because Reynor just fought and clawed his way back to a 2-1 instead of a 3-0, which is coming back from a 3-0 and a best of 7 is I don't know if it's entirely possible. It's probably been done. I've just never seen it. So we're going to move into the next one. Hit the like button if you haven't already, please. Just the algorithm likes it when people hit like and leave comments and stuff, so do that too. So we'll be right back. Pillars of Gold, top right Clem, bottom left Reynor. It's more ZBT for your Sunday series. I think that's as close as I'm going to get. Alright, so Pillars of Gold, not a short rush distance map, as you can tell by the minimap here. And there are no gold bases. So Pillars of Gold is a false advertisement. JLC in my Discord server made sure that I knew that. Well, it didn't make sure, but that is where I heard that from. And yes, it is true. Kind of weird, right? I guess maybe this is a Pillar of Gold. It's kind of a pillar and it's gold. It's goldish. Anywho, it's a pretty good map, pretty good balance. I've never heard anybody complain about Pillars of Gold. Have you ever heard anyone be like, Pillars of Gold is a garbage map? I don't think so. I don't think it has happened at all. So Reynor, hatch firsting as per usual. Reynor is a creature of habit, man. He will not pool first you all that much, especially not in this series. Especially not on the map where it's a really long way to your enemy's base. And especially not against somebody like Clem, who is SCV scouting today. And if you go for a 12 pool, he will see it with his scouting SCV, and your Zerglings will not do anything because the Reaper will stay home and you'll be a sad panda. Or a sad Zergling, as your circumstance may allow. What else is happening? Did you know the Falcon Paladin Hour is now being streamed live on Twitch? You ever want to see Falcon actually talk about stuff and see his face and his mouth moving instead of listening to it on the podcast? Well, now you can. We stream it at twitch.tv/Somicron on Tuesday nights. That's SOMICRON at 9 p.m. Eastern on a schedule. We try to be we're right on top of it so people can know what's up. But on the most recent of the Falcon Paladin Hours, I had to pay up on a bet that I made. We bet on GSL playoffs. We both pick one player, and whichever one gets further wins the bet. So I, unfortunately, picked Dong Regu to make it further than Maru in the latest GSL, and that, by golly, did not happen. So my punishment was I had to eat a whole meal of Popeye's chicken, which I hate. And I know I'm going to get some crazy looks and responses for that. People love them some Popeyes. I don't get it, man. I don't understand any of it. So, yeah, I ate that on the live stream, and it was apparently entertaining for people. I personally did not enjoy it all that much. But if you want to see that, check it out, twitch.tv/Somicron. Drop a follow while you're there, because we're going to be podcasting there for the foreseeable future. Alright, this Reaper has a name because he's still alive. This Reaper's name is the Among Us developers. Among Us realized or released a game about trust, deception, and abusing the emergency meeting button. Emperor Mentz tried it out, but realized he wasn't always going to be the betrayer, which means other people could betray him. For this treason, the developers were stuffed into special Reaper suits that declare if they are the imposter or not when they die. So do we think this is an imposter Reaper? I don't know. He's gotten some kills. He's been pretty active to be an imposter Reaper. He's completing the tasks for the crew, right? By the way, this Reaper name did get 5 upvotes for Joseph Atwell, who's been a most consistent Reaper namer, by the way. Like, by far, most of the Reaper names that I get are from Joseph Atwell, who is an incredibly creative individual. and very prolific as well. So thanks for your service, Joseph. I really appreciate you coming through with so many Reaper names for me. All right. Whoosh. Whoosh. Hellion sounds. The sound design in StarCraft has just always been on point. Hasn't it, though? You ever been like, man, that sound is horrendously stupid in StarCraft? No, it always makes sense. It's great. Oh, and I guess I could say, too, the Falcon Paladin Hour is not only on Twitch. It's available on your podcast apps, wherever you get those. Wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, you listen on Spotify, we're there. Google Podcasts, Beyond Pod, anywhere you can find your podcasts, we are there for you. Just a week. It's a weekly podcast. We talk about StarCraft 2. We actually talk quite a bit about nerdy stuff, too, like anime. There is an incredible Halo trilogy that was written like before Halo 4 came out. So post Halo 3 by Karen Travis, who's actually a legitimate sci-fi author that was hired to write this trilogy for Halo. And it's like amazing. It's so good. There's a reason that they hired this author because she's fantastic. Anyway, it's called the Glasslands trilogy. It's Glasslands, and the third book is Mortal Dictata, and the middle book I can't remember. But just look for Glasslands trilogy, and Google will tell you what's up. These are some YOLO Hellions, man. Actually, they have an escape. They have an escape route. Everything's fine. Reaper's in the mix. Nobody will notice that I'm not a Hellion as long as we keep moving, he says. And by golly, we're going to keep moving because Clem is controlling us. Clem, you going to mix it up, buddy? No. All of the bio, all of the time, with medevacs and widow mines and upgrades galore. Liberator sets up, gets some more kills. Yeah, they say. That's the sound a Liberator makes when it gets kills. So, look. I understand most of you people are into innovation, and most of you people are into Serral, etc., etc. I'm telling you, we need to add Clem to the list of players we like to watch, because he's insanely good at StarCraft. He is up 2-1 on Reynor, who was, again, the runner-up in BlizzCon 2019. He was the second best player on Earth last year, and Clem is beating him right now. I think it says a lot. I think part of what it says is that they play against each other all the time on the EU ladder, and Clem knows Reynor probably better than anybody. Any other Terran player knows him, I would have to guess. He's played way more games against him than anybody else has, so that's a big advantage that he has for sure, but still, to beat him at all is not an easy task. Not by any stretch. Alright, big old double medevac drop, and you have enough lings? Yes. I mean, Widowmine will take its pound of flesh, but you have enough lings to make these medevacs get out of here. Wow, really going for it here. Unloading inside the main base. Sure, that extractor down counts for something. Nope, can't get it. Too many lings. Another attack coming in. It's our Hellion Reaper group. Come on, Reaper. Stay alive, the Among Us developers. Your game is fun. Really? You just let him have that? Wow, those lings, I feel like they could have at least tried to save it, but I guess Reynor knows more than I do. That didn't happen. Dude, these guys are getting some... I'm going to say they're getting some value for their money. Oh, we're going roaches today. Roach Ravager. A lot of Roach Ravager. Okay, Reynor's going to try to kill Clem here. Off of 3 bases and 68 workers with roaches and ravagers. Army supply skyrocketing for Reynor right now. Clem's keeping the pressure up, man. Roach Ravager can and does do very well versus Marine Marauder in the early stages of the game. After about 12 minutes, though, that goes away. So the clock's ticking here, Reynor. Also, being able to corrosive bile down Widow Mines is a fantastic advantage. Ooh, Hellbat's catching some corrosive biles. That's bad. I think a medevac just died too because he's bringing the queens. Oh, Reynor, is he going to try to tie this series up? He's obviously trying to tie this series up. The SCV is coming in, trying to save it. trying to just meat shield a little bit for the Marines that are left over, and one Marauder. But no, SCV is getting massacred all the way around here. And this is not looking good. This is looking exceptionally bad for Clem. He's down 129 to 50 total supply. Corrosive Vials landing. And that's it. Reynor does tie up the series. 2 games, 2-2. In a fantastic display on a map that is not rushy, going for 3 bases. He actually had a 4th base behind this, the Madman. Just roach ravaged his way to victory. He's like, look, man, I know you're going to go bio. I know it's going to be a lot of Marines. And my 1-1 Roaches and Ravagers will trade very well against your 1-1 Marines. When it's 3-3 on both sides, no, not as well. But right now, I have a time. Let's do it. And he did. He marched across the map. He had great micro. He ended up losing only 3,000 total resources to 5,800 for Clem. That's bonkers. That is so important. I don't know if you can lose a game as a Zerg player in 9 minutes if you basically your opponent doubles up on the lost resources tab. I don't see it happening. But yeah, 16 roaches died. That's it. Not a Ravager died here today. There were 8 of them at the end of the game. Also 38 additional roaches ready to rock. Yeah, no. That's not happening. Clem tapping out there was smart. Didn't read it properly. Did not read it at all, in fact, and got killed for it. So we're at 2-2. It's always a good place to be in a best of 7 when you're in a 2-2 scenario. So let's move on into our game number 5. We'll be right back. Hey, so guess what I figured out here? This is actually a best of 5 for the winners finals for DreamHack Fall, which you probably know because I put best of 5 in the title of this cast. So yeah, this is the rubber match here on Dethora. Bottom right-hand corner, Reynor. Top left is Clem. And I feel pretty silly at this point. Man, I should have known. I should have known by the number of replays in the folder that it's not a best of 7. Anyway, you live and you learn, said the great poet Alanis Morissette back in like 1996. Which, by the way, was 24 years ago, which is insane. When I was a kid, 24 years ago was another planet. It might as well have happened on Mars. I had no connection to 24 years ago when I was a kid. And now I'm like, oh, of course, the mid-90s. Yeah, that was a time. I was there. I'm old, is what I'm trying to say. It happens. It happens to all of us. I believe Grandpa Simpson summed it up best in The Simpsons when he said, let's see, I used to be like you. I used to be with it. I used to, what was it? And now I'm so old I don't even know what it is. It happened to me, it'll happen to you. You're not wrong, Grandpa Abe. Not in the least. Alright, so Dethora is a good map, right? It's a pretty good map. Are we not? No, he is. Okay, he's SCV scouting. Clem is very good at this. Like, he is very persistent about continuing to SCV scout to make sure it's not a 12 pool, and Reynor's been consistently not 12 pooling him. So it's been working out for both players, I gotta say. Alright, so we have another Reaper name because of course we do. This Reaper name comes from Roger Sullivan, a very long-time subscriber as well. I hope he's here. I don't think I've seen him on the new channel yet, and that worries me. I wonder if there are a lot of people who are like, man, Falcon hasn't released a new StarCraft 2 cast in some time, because all they're subscribed to is the old one. The old channel, the old Brood War channel now. Anyway, this Reaper's name is All Telemarketers Ever, and we get bonus points if it dies before 5 minutes. Good luck with that, Roger. This is a Clem Reaper. Clem Reapers don't die in the first 5 minutes. If this thing dies in the first 5 minutes, I will be surprised. So, how many lings will you get, Mr. All Telemarketers Ever? Here's the thing about telemarketers. It's not their fault. It's not their fault the profession of telemarketer exists. They just need money, man. They need money to survive. Like, I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, man, I'm a career telemarketer and I love it. Like, maybe there are people who do that, but eventually they just all go into sales anyway. Oh gosh. That was a dangerous situation. That was almost a dead before 5 minutes for sure. But I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. If a telemarketer calls you, they're just trying to get a paycheck, man. Don't take it out on them. Sometimes people are directly calling you trying to scam you. And those people, again, they're probably just trying to earn a paycheck. But at the same time, I think that crosses a line in morality. Telemarketing, no. Doesn't cross the line for me. But people that are trying to scam you and tell you that you have a virus or something, and if you pay them $600, they'll fix it. Like, that kind of stuff is dumb. Computer virus, I guess. It'd be weird if you had, like, a human body virus and they said they could fix it for money over the phone. Pretty nuts. All right, Lair coming in here from Reynor. We got ourselves a Baneling Nest 2. Hellion moving out. We're going to follow him just because he's a lone Hellion. That doesn't usually happen. Usually there's 2 of you, or like 4 or 6 or 8. Lone Hellion alone with his best friend, the Reaper. All telemarketers ever. Oh, his friends have joined him. Okay. I was worried about him for a second, but he's happy now. I mean, Hellions are social creatures. They're not like Reapers, man. Reapers are loners. But Hellions need their friends to be happy. I think all Zerg units need their friends to be happy. You usually don't see one of anything. Maybe an Overseer sometimes, right? But that's about it. You never see one Ultralisk doing stuff, or one Broodlord doing stuff. Like you see one Battlecruiser doing stuff, for example, or one Oracle doing stuff, for example. Yeah, I like this theory. I could write a paper on it. So it's a very small drop here from Clem, because again, resources into the Hellions. And just on top of it, Reynor shutting that down. And so far, honestly, 1 Ling and 1 Overlord have died. Seems reasonable. Oh, do not... Yeah. Clem went about as far into there as he could without committing and then backed out. So nice job, Clem. Nicely done, mate. Barracks, 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 barracks. Yeah, I honestly think Reynor's doing pretty well here. And if my earlier theory of the longer the game goes on, the better it is for Reynor holds up, then this could be problematic for Clem. Man, to be up 2-0 and then to tragically lose the next 3 games would just be demoralizing. That said, okay, picking up a couple drone kills there. Didn't even have to lose any Hellions for it. And guess what? All telemarketers ever is still alive here at 6 minutes. So, sorry, Roger. No bonus points for you or for us, I suppose. It's very tragic, actually. So, Clem gonna land his 3rd base. Not nearly as fast as some Koreans do. It's just gotta be in response to what Reynor does, right? It's just if you try to go for a greedy 3rd base, then Reynor's gonna punish you. Oh, Reynor, are we mutas? Hey, we're Mutalisks today, guys. Reynor is not on my list of players I trust with mutas. I cast a game between him and Innovation maybe a month or so ago, maybe longer, and he ended up losing like all 52 of his mutas and did not win the game. So some players can keep their Mutalisks alive forever, and it's incredibly beautiful to behold the control that they have. Some players use their Mutalisks to attain wins, and they lose all their mutas, but they win the game. And some players make mutas and lose all their mutas and lose the game. And those are the players I don't trust with mutas at all. Because if you're going to lose your mutas, like, at least win the game while you're at it. I know, making it sound easier than it actually is. I'd say these mutas have maybe paid for themselves. Well, maybe not. Not already, but they're doing pretty well. Gotta be careful with this, though. Like, this push from Clem. Mutas are harassers. Mutas are not defenders. And if you force Mutalisks to defend some kind of a crazy push, you're gonna have a bad time. Dude, he's scanned over here. He's like, I know there's probably a Ling counterattack coming somewhere. And he was ready for it. He lost a couple SCVs, but that was about it. Clem's up 80 to 66 army supply. How did he do this? Ling's going for it. Oh, Okay, alright. Good job. Good job pulling back there. Mutalisk stayed alive. Lings are all dead. The counterattack threat is contained, and Clem can go back to his attack, I think. He's got the Hellbats again, too. Ooh, one of the tanks gets sniped. Nicely done. Good control there by Reynor. Excellent control. Queen gets sniped. Banelings! And the Lings coming from the backside. The Mutas in for cleanup. They wipe out that first thrust of Clem's entirely. The second follow-up, though, is actually looking... Where did this army come from? Clem's macro is through the roof right now. Oh my gosh. Losing this fourth base would be humongously problematic. For Reynor. Dude, that hatch is dead. And Clem doesn't keep pushing. He doesn't get greedy. He pulls back. He regroups. He's going to meet up with the rest of his dudes here. And Reynor's on... He's on 4 bases, which is good. If he was still on 3 bases, I think he'd be toast. But he's managed to expand down here. He's mining pretty well. His income is favoring him right now, as he has 76 workers to 59. It's a pretty big advantage. I think maybe Clem just has kind of stopped making SCVs for the time being. Production tab does not have any. Once again, Ling, Baneling, Mutalisk going to do super well here, depending on the Baneling connections. There's this other whole group of Marines back here, though, that are marching in. Right side not super well. Left side better. Oh, drone gets sniped. Lings and Banelings trying to march on in here. The splits. Look at these splits. Look at them. Have you ever had splits these good? No. Nobody watching this ever has. I mean, it doesn't really matter when there's this many Lings out. Ooh, tank gets sniped by the Mutas too, and Reynor escapes with the Mutalisks. He has lost 5, but I think this is one of his better performances with Mutas that I've seen. This is good. This is some really nice Muta control, and picking off reinforcements. Dude, Reynor doing fantastically. This is scary, though. Like, what? How? Where do these guys come from? I guess Clem is making 11 Marines at a time. Hatch down, and now Reynor's back on that 3 base. Yes, he's replacing the 4th, but it's not done yet, and that's such a problem, especially when Clem is taking a 4th base of his own. Being on equal bases versus Clem as a Zerg player is a death sentence. Against most elite professional Terran players, as Clem is, that's a death sentence. Dude, Clem is playing super, super, duper, mega, ultra well here. All right, Clem's up 118 to 90 army supply, which is actually pretty intimidating for Reynor. If you're down in army supply versus a Terran, it's not a good place to be. Lings and Banelings, there's a replacement tank here, though. Once again, trying to march in there. +2/+2 finishing up for these Lings. Oh, Muta's getting into the 3rd base, causing major problems for these SCVs, forcing them to retreat entirely. Muta's continuing to fly around here and cause major problems for Clem, but this hatch is dead. This is a huge problem for Reynor. Dude, I mean, yes, you kill the missile turret, you got 6 or 7 SCVs, but losing another base is not good. Reynor's constantly having to replace bases to get back up to 4, whereas Clem is just happily sitting on 4. Yes, he's lost some SCVs, but he's got mules, so it's not the end of the world for him at all. Mutas fly on out of there. Clem decides to pull back a little bit. This is a game 5. So both players are being a little more cautious than they normally would be. A little more circumspect. Which is a word I use quite a bit in these situations because that's how these players play. Reynor's just going deeper into Mutalisks and Lings and Banelings. It's just, again, 11 Marines produced at a time here for Clem is a fantastic number. And yeah, the longer the game goes on, the more I think it favors Reynor. That's a drone evacuation from that base. He's like, I'm going to try to clear this out. I don't know if it's happening. This is a lot of, look at him preparing for a surround. These Mutas going to town on Clem's natural base, though. So many SCVs have died today, but guess what? The fourth base of Reynor is going to fall again. Look at this Marine count. It's insane. He's got 73 Marines on the floor right now, on the ground. The mutas are kind of base trading a little bit. They are not being dealt with very well. The control by Reynor is nuts. But look, again, Clem kills the base, pulls back. The fourth is coming in again for Reynor. This is some really, really patient play from Clem. I'm loving it. Could it jump on that turret? Maybe you can. Man, this is almost a situation where you just want to go for Ultralisks. When your opponent has 95 Marines on the field, you almost just need Ultras. And Ultras will chomp through this composition for sure. Mutalisks will die in a straight fight for sure. In equal numbers against Marines, but in equal cost against Marines. But you just eventually have so many Marines, you can target fire Banelings. Look at the split. Look at the splits. His splits have been sublime today. Ling's going for the run by. That's what Reynor's been doing today when Clem's on this side of the map. Is go for the run bys and kill even more SCVs. Mutas, though, being really, really gutsy. And paying for it a little bit. Dude, okay, so Clem's going to lose his third. Effectively. That's a liftoff scenario, so it's not dead, but still, it's not good. Supply depots having major problems here, too. Dude, it's 72 to 46 workers. Reynor has a massively... This base is toast. Clem needs to kill this base now, and I'm not sure that he can. That is a lot of Banelings on the ground, man. I know I said you might need Ultras. I said maybe you do need Ultras, but this is a lot of Marines. Tanks firing. That tank backup is very nice. The mutas might want to come home and help with this, but they're too busy trying to kill orbitals that don't have any bearing on anything at the moment. Yeah, I mean, income hugely favoring Reynor right now. He's got his fourth base back. He's got his fifth base back, which is big. He's finally on 5 bases for, like, the second time today, but I think maybe he had 5 bases for contiguous 4 minutes before. Not even that long, like a minute and a half. Dude, it's another hatch down. Wow! He just barely got that hatch. And getting overwhelmed by the swarm here. Is forced back. Dude, Reynor kicking butt, taking names. The fact that Clem did manage to take down that base was big. And the reinforcements coming in from all sides do force Reynor back. No more pursuit. No more pursuit for you. So Reynor's on 4 bases. Clem is on 4 bases, but only has 47 SCVs. But he does have mules, so the income is not as quite as discrepant as you might imagine. Does discrepant even a word? Discrepancy is a word. But does that, like, that sentence make any sense to you? Their incomes are discrepant? There's probably a better word for it, but it's like 1 in the morning for me, so who knows? He can't get this hatch again. He's getting this hatch again. Dude, that is the 6th hatch killed in 16 minutes for Clem. Yes, has he taken major hits to his economy? Absolutely. Has he been destroying Reynor's ability to get up 1 million bases today? Without question. How many Mutalisks have died? 34. 17 remaining. I don't know if this is working out for Reynor, man. Look, 5th base from Clem. Muta's trying to jump into a 3-turret situation. Not super ideal for them. Another Muta dies. Another Muta dies. Another Muta dies. The stutter step is insane for Clem right now. Holy cannoli, this game. Okay, I don't think any Mutas died there, but they're injured. They're just trying to buy time. They're trying to buy all kinds of time here for the Lings and Banelings to get up here and maybe snipe this planetary. Oh, are the Mutas trapped? No, there's a way out right here. Maybe don't fly over these Marines, though. Yeah, the mutas are trapped in here. Like, if, well, maybe not. I was going to say, if Clem wants to, we could set that up so it's a trap. Oh, no! Siege tanks got separated from their comrades. The Marines, and get sniped off. This is nuts! This whole series is getting an epic tag. I don't care. I don't care what happens from here on. This is epic tag worthy. Trying to burrow banelings, and I think that's the second time that Clem has sniffed it out and killed it first. There's more burrowed banelings over here, too. Dude, burrowed banes. I gotta start using those in my games. I never, ever do. I'm just too focused on a million other things. Man, Reynor's just swarming all over these guys. Tanks going down, Marauders getting surrounded, Marines getting exploded with acid, which is probably a pretty quick death, don't you think? I think it probably is. Clem making 12 Marines at a time. I mean, that's just okay. Kind of, I mean, not the greatest burrowed baneling of all time, but good. Not incredible. 120 to 60 army supply. What happened? I guess this base is dead. This base is barely back. This base is just now happening. But Reynor needs to be on 6 or 7 or 8 bases by this point of the game. And he is on 4, 5, just barely 5. And suddenly, are there enough lings and banelings to do this? Man, these splits, if you're dying to lings and banelings in your latter games as Terran, like, I don't want to say just play like Clem, but play like Clem, dude. His splits have been godlike today, and that's your good game. Clem comes out on top 3 games to 2 in the series in an incredibly impressive performance today. Wins the first 2, loses the next 2, comes out on top in game 5 like an absolute boss, and ends up killing how many? 7 hatcheries today. You kill 7 hatcheries in 20 minutes, you have an excellent chance of winning this game. Any game. 46 mutas died in a loss. Once again, Reynor, I don't trust you with mutas, man. You're gutsy. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. But yeah, what an incredible game. That was just fantastic. Terran fans, you are happy today. I know that you are. And not even with Widow Mines. It was like 3 Widow Mines. Made 3 Widow Mines today, 1 anyway. Usually you make more Widow Mines against mutas, but I guess if the muta control is good, they can kind of pick them off as long as they have detection for them. It's a tricky thing to balance. And there we go. 39,000, 40,000 resources lost for Reynor, 27 for Clem. That's just a huge number. There's a big discrepancy. A total of 300 Marines died. It was such a Marine-heavy composition. 471 Zerglings, 99 Banelings, 7 hatches. I can't get past 7 hatches. Clem must have killed 20 hatches today, which is a ginormous number. Crikey, mate. All right. Well, you know what? That's going to be it for me today. That was a disgusting best of 5 that I called a best of 7 throughout most of the series, which is my fault, and I'm sorry for that. But we got there. We got there in the end. But that's got to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and an epic Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.